The events in today's video have been caught on camera. Although some effects are so implausible that no sensible person could ever think they actually happened, here are top 10 events you wouldn't believe if not filmed. Number 10. Low-flying plane. Residents of Nashville, Tennessee were taken aback in January 2019 when they saw a military plane flying so low to the ground that it appeared to be skimming over building tops and passing my office windows. The plane circled for 30 minutes, frightening bystanders and causing hundreds of calls to local authorities in fear of what was going to happen. Later, they learned that the plane was part of a training exercise before a flypast to celebrate the inauguration of the new governor, but even it demonstrates how nimble these jets are. But in the end, bad weather forced the cancellation of the celebration flight, meaning that the practice and the anxiety instilled were useless. Number 9. Lightning versus tree. As they say, lightning strikes only once. But in most situations, that is all it takes for immense devastation to occur. A bolt of lightning struck the pine tree in the courtyard, sending shards of wood and other debris flying, and causing the tree's canopy to collapse on top of one of the buildings, damaging the roof. This video was captured at Bryson Lake Lodge in Quebec, Canada, where guests had been advised to stay inside due to an approaching storm. Fortunately, nobody was harmed, but things might have turned out rather differently if they hadn't hidden in the security of their apartments. Number 8. Makeup during an earthquake. One of the most watched forms of internet entertainment these days is earthquake makeup tutorials. And even if you might think you've seen everything there is to see, there's always more to discover. This one by Ali J was recorded on July 8, 2019. And she had no idea that one of the strongest earthquakes of the year was going to occur while she was filming live. It starts off like any other, just as she's starting to apply lipstick when the room begins to shake violently. Predictably, her application goes awry during the event, and you can see the terror on her face as it dawns on her what's taking place. Fortunately, the tremor passes quickly and she is unharmed, but if the camera hadn't been damaged, you would never believe that this could have happened. Number 7. Burj Khalifa base jump. The Burj Khalifa in Dubai is the tallest building in the world, standing 2,717 feet above the ground. However, its owners aren't content with this title. They frequently host amazing events to make sure people keep watching what they're doing. In 2014, they took things a step further by partnering with the local skydiving association to arrange for base jumpers to jump from the top. Unbelievably, they are flying towards the ground in their wingsuits, with the backdrop of the desert city behind them. They circled the massive building, leaving a trail of red smoke in their wake, and in the process, they set a world record for the highest base jump that has ever been successfully completed. They could also be considered the most courageous or insane people on the planet, depending on your point of view. When questioned about the experience afterwards, one of the jumpers stated that although people frequently mistake base jumpers for being insane, their true passion is to soar. Before we move on, be sure to subscribe to Tech Cargo with notifications on. Number 6. Helicopter stunts. Helicopter maneuvers first put into service in 1970. The German anti-tank helicopter known as the Bo-105 was designed with aerobatic maneuvers in mind. It was the first copter to have light twin engines, and one of the first to have a wingless rotor system. These features, along with a responsive control system, allow pilots to move with a rare level of precision and are thrilling to watch when operated by inexperienced and fearless people. Charlie Zimmerman is well known for his insane stunts. In one of those choppers, you won't believe some of the moves he pulls off until you see them for yourself. He does reverse loops. Seems as though the helicopter's controls are an extension of himself as he darts around trees and other obstacles and flies at absurdly low altitudes. Few individuals possess the necessary talent and accuracy to perform this, as it requires a great deal of ability and confidence. Number 5. Antares rocket explosion. Though space agencies worldwide have been launching rockets into space since the 1950s, there's still no feeling quite like seeing one for yourself, and they always draw sizable crowds. However, sometimes things don't go exactly as planned. And on October 28, 2014, During the 5th month of the Antares rocket's scheduled launch, an unmanned vehicle carrying supplies to the International Space Station, everything went horribly wrong. At first, the launch seemed to have gone smoothly shortly after takeoff. Nevertheless, the rocket's first stage propulsion system failed, causing it to fall back to Earth. The explosion's shockwave was felt 20 miles away, and the fire burned all night before it was put out the following day. Fortunately, no one was hurt in the incident, but the payload worth tens of millions of dollars was completely destroyed. Number 4. Cricket ball hits a flying fox. Ball strikes a fox in the air. One of the most popular sports in the world is cricket, and major events draw tens of thousands of spectators. Like other high-profile matches, cricket draws a sizable TV audience, and broadcasters work hard to stay on the cutting edge of technology to give viewers the best angles possible. In Australia, one such example of this has been the use of a spider catch system, which uses a series of motorized winches to suspend a camera over the playing field. The Gabba, one of Australia's largest cricket venues, was hosting a 2020 match against India in 2018. And although it generally stays far out of the way of the game it's shooting, it became the center of attention. It's affectionately known as the Flying Fox. Stadium cameras attempted to focus on the ball and its trajectory, but it abruptly vanishes from the sky. Glenn Maxwell was at the stumps getting ready for the next ball when he managed to knock it with such force that he lost control of its direction, and it soared upward. Though this was terrible for the players, because they needed to take advantage of every opportunity to score some runs. Fortunately for them, it was declared a dead ball and the decision was to bowl it again. It managed to collide with the small camera that was suspended the wicket and crashed straight back down to the ground, much to the delight of the commentators and fans alike. Number 3. Dam collapse. Around the world, dams are constructed for a variety of purposes. Although their primary function is to retain water, some have been found to store construction waste. Brazil's Brumadinho tailing dam is one of numerous in the nation that are situated near to iron ore mines and are used to keep waste products after the extraction of valuable or from their less valuable counterparts. A comparable neighboring dam collapsed in a disaster in 2015 due to excessive pressure, but no safety measures were put in place to ensure that something similar wouldn't happen again. January 25, 2019 saw the collapse of the Brumadinho Dam. The ensuing catastrophic flow of water and debris occurred just after lunchtime. When the structural integrity collapsed, nothing was able to stop the 423 million cubic feet of material from flowing into the mine surrounding offices, as well as numerous local homes, farms, and other structures. Locals had no chance of evacuating in time, and tragically, 270 people lost their lives in the accident. The environmental damage was also significant, with chemicals covering the entire area and contaminating hundreds of miles of river networks. It's incredible to witness the moment the slurry was discharged. And perhaps following this, significant measures will be implemented to ensure that something similar never occurs again. Number 2. Iceberg calving. If you spend enough time observing the edge of an ice sheet, you will be able to witness the amazing spectacle of an iceberg calving into the ocean. In 2008, two cameras in a remote area of Greenland managed to record the largest calving event ever captured on camera. It occurred on the edge of the Illumisek Glacier, which is estimated to produce more than 35 billion tons of ice annually from this glacier alone. This glacier is responsible for 10% of the icebergs that form around Greenland. The glacier moves at a relatively fast pace, reaching up to 150 feet per day. Though what happened that day while they were filming was unusual, even for such an active region. They had just set up the equipment when the tremors reverberated through the ice, and from there, things only got worse. Huge pieces of ice broke off and fell into the water, causing massive waves to ripple out. It's difficult to imagine the size of what happened from the video, but to put it into perspective, it was truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience that clearly demonstrated the majestic beauty and power of these ice formations. The total amount of ice that broke free during this event was roughly equivalent to the size of the lower part of Manhattan Island, but at a height many times higher than the tallest skyscrapers in the city. Number 1. Lion saves Wildebeest. In this footage, A young wildebeest has been separated from its family and a group of hyenas has begun to move in for the kill. The terrifying animal begins to run around in circles, not knowing what to do, and the hyenas move in closer. Lions are known for being the dominant predators of the African savanna, but they aren't always so ruthless or focused on the hunt. Sometimes they show compassion towards other animals, especially if it means to deprive them of a meal they may need to rely on themselves. They attack, but the wildebeest is still fighting back, so they manage to elude them. They then pursue the prey, knowing that eventually the animals will tire out and they can eat. Just when you think there is no hope left for the prey, a lion appears and saves the day. The hyenas stop to wait and see what would happen, but the lion didn't attack the weak foal. Instead, it rolled around on the ground, completely subduing the lead hyena, forcing it to retreat and find a new victim. If that wasn't breathtaking enough, the next scene is even more unbelievable. Later on, while the lion is lounging in the shade, a wildebeest is spotted cuddling up against it. Rather than destroying the animal, as one might anticipate, the lion just lays there, treating it like it was one of its own. Subscribe to Tech Cargo for more, and check out some of our other popular videos.